can watch along and get involved, and you can listen in all of the usual places you listen to Pure West, so on the app, on your smart speakers, on the website, and on DAB digital radio as well across the county. Now, coming up tonight, of course, we will reflect on Super Sunday at the Oggy Bridgemeadow Stadium. Haverfordwest County beating Carnarvon Town in the European Conference playoff by 3-1. That seals European football for the second time in 3 seasons for Tony Pennock's side. And we'll be joined at 8:15 by the Bluebirds chairman, Rob Edwards, to review a magical weekend for the club. Also this evening, local cricket, football and rugby to talk about. And Gordon and I might also look ahead to Wednesday night's Europa League final. In fact, if anyone watching or listening can give us any thoughts on that game, I've got no idea what the score's going to be. And maybe you give us your predictions, that might be easier. So let's get going. Gordon, how are you?
I'm very good, Ben, after my jaunt up to Pennyvan and back. And I managed to get out and watch some cricket as well at the weekend. And obviously, Haverfordwest County winning on Sunday and the youth team on Saturday. It's been quite a weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it really has. A brilliant weekend for Haverfordwest County. Were you amongst the crowd there yesterday, Gordon?
Unfortunately, I couldn't make it down there, but I did watch it on Scorio.
Same.
And a great performance by Haverfordwest County. I'm sure we'll speak a bit more about it when Rob comes on.
No, we definitely will. Rob's going to be with us in part 2, the Bluebirds chairman, to reflect on an amazing weekend. The youth side qualifying as well for the UEFA Youth League, the first team qualifying for Europe. It was a great weekend. You mentioned, Gordon, you were up bright and early on Friday. Maybe we'll come to that in part 3, but you were out and about watching the cricket on Saturday.
Definitely.
And actually, Division 1 this weekend, bar Carew, was actually quite a low-scoring weekend. In fact, I think looking at the scores, it was only Carew that went over 200, and they did so in style. They scored 365 for 5, didn't they, to beat Langham? So
I actually did go down to that for a bit as well, Ben. That was one of the games that I went down there, and Sean Whitfield was in fine form at that point, and he'd hit 9 sixes in a speedy 88 not out. But before I got down there, Nick Davis had he'd scored 101. They were runs galore against Langham. Unfortunately, Langham was struggling against who I think Carew were probably the side that could go on to win the title. And I'm saying that really early.
Yeah, okay, that is a very early prediction, Gord. But I mean, you're saying that the Monday after they've had that big win, scoring 365 is amazing. As you said, Sean Whitfield 88 not out, 9 sixes included, 101 for Nick Davis, and Langham obviously couldn't get near on the day. And James Hinchcliffe had a good day as well with the ball for Carew. He took 4 for 8. So I do think that's a record, Gord, for you to say. You're predicting the title. They're the team to beat, yeah?
They've just they seem to have a good, consistent team there. They've been biting at the chomp to try and win that title, get it away from Neyland. I think they're a bit closer this season, and I do reckon if they keep their form, they'll go all the way.
But interestingly, aside from that game, it was a Saturday of quite low scores in Division 1. I was looking through this, and I don't know why, because weather conditions you would have thought would have been quite nice again for batting.
Yeah, it was good weather in Pembrokeshire, yeah.
Yeah, so what would you put that down to?
Decent bowling, to be fair. Batsmen struggled against some decent bowling on the day, and that does happen, Ben. Haverfordwest managed to squeeze a win again. I don't know if you've got the scores in front of them.
I have.
They went to Herbernston. That's both sides are probably bottom end of the table. So that was an important win for Haverfordwest because they haven't done nothing the last couple of weeks.
It was nervy, actually, Gordon, as well, wasn't it? Because they bowled Branston out for 98 and probably would have thought, let's knock these off and enjoy the Saturday afternoon. But it didn't quite work that way. Haverfordwest got over the line by 4 wickets. Stalwart, really. Ben Field, his 46 was absolutely crucial. It's one of those days where sometimes those low scores can just be a bit tricky. If you lose a couple of early wickets, you get jittery. And that's clearly what happened.
Yeah, and obviously for Herbie, I think Rob Hood, is it? I think he took 4 wickets as well. So he's in good form at this moment in time. So yeah, it was a nervous win for Haverfordwest, but they'd be delighted with that. Cresselli, they came up trumps again, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They won by 8 wickets.
Yeah,
A convincing win. Loreni were all out for 119. It was a good all-round performance by Cresselli, that one. Charlie Arthur 3 for 30. Tom Arthur 3 for 29.
yeah.
And Morgan Lewis 60 not out for Cresselli. They got over the line comfortably there, didn't they?
I mean, that's a derby game as well. They're only just down the road. Those games between those teams, Kieru, Cresselli and Loreni, are always
Yeah.
usually quite tight matches. So that, Cresselli are a decent side as well. They'll be up there.
Yeah.
That's it. Kieru, Cresselli and Nayland, really. That's what I
Yeah.
can see in the top three.
That's your top three. Nayland beat Burton by 4 wickets. Burton were all out for 147. Nayland, again, just a little bit of a jitter. 148 for 6.
Yeah.
Got over the line. Ashley Sutton's 76 there as well.
It's good to see Ashley Sutton back as well, because there's a number of some of their top quality players unavailable for whatever reason. Ashley's come back. He'll be an asset to Nayland as they progress through the coming weeks.
Worth mentioning as well, on pembrokeshiresport.co.uk, as always, has all the stats. And they mention in that game, with the ball for Burton, Johnny Scale, who took 1 for 10 off 9 overs at the age of 59.
Wow.
That's decent bowling, isn't it?
That's excellent bowling. But if in Division 2, Brennan Devnold hit a century against Burton. But Joe John, he's not going to like me saying this, but I was there. Joe John, who plays striker for Prendergast Villa, was bowling for Burton to Brennan Devnold when he was on. I think it was either 97 or 98. And Brennan, he actually went for the big hit to get his century, and he skied it. It went up in the air. It should have been caught and bowled by Joe John, but unfortunately, Joe's hands aren't too good these days. He's better with his feet. So it went through his hands.
Oh, no.
Mr. Devnall survived, and he went on to score a sublime century.
He cashed in, didn't he?
He went on to win that particular game as well.
Just one more game in Division 1, and we will call out some of the other scores from down the divisions, but Saundersfoot had a convincing win as well. They beat Whitland by 7 wickets in that game. Prashant Gotham with the ball for Saundersfoot, 5 for 11. I think that was the bowling performance of the day.
Exactly. We spoke about that earlier. Some good bowling spells in the top flight.
Yeah, really well bowled in that game. That was a great effort. Just in Division 2, Gordon, a couple to mention. Pembroke had a good win by 6 wickets against Hook. This was a really entertaining game, actually. Hook scored 230 for 9, and Pembroke chased it down.
Well.
Say that again.
That's a decent score. That's a decent score by Hook as well. They got some really good youngsters as well. So they're tipped to possibly get promotion next season. And for Pembroke to beat them in that manner, that was, I presume, Jack Harris probably had a few runs for Pembroke.
Yeah, he did. Well, that was it. Jack Harris 125 not out for Pembroke.
He's a class act. If you don't get Jack out, he'll murder you.
Yeah,
and that's what's happened with Hook. They haven't managed to get hold of Jack and get him out.
And also in Division 2, a big win for Narberth by 155 runs over Johnston. Narberth were 3-2-4 for 5, Gordon, batting first. Jamie McCormack, 175.
I was there at that game as well, and he was in fine form. He was stroking the ball all over Gleeblands there. He was playing well, but there was Jordan Williams, the footballer, was there while I back, and he picked up an injury. I think he had to retire hurt in his 20s, I think. So those two were batting when I was there early on. But that's a great knock in it at any level.
Yeah, that's a great innings. 9 sixes and 24s in that 175. Outstanding batting in that one. And it sounds like you did get around the grounds a bit, Gordon.
Yeah, I did on Saturday, even though I'd come back from my little jaunt up in Brecon. But it was a lovely afternoon here. It was a pleasure to go around a few grounds and enjoy a bit of cricket, Ben. I really do enjoy this time of year when the weather's good. Somebody tells me it's going to change next weekend.
I know, just looking at the forecast, it looks just a bit inconsistent. Temperatures don't
Yeah.
look too bad, but it does look a bit inconsistent. Fraser's not with us in this part of the show
We
today.
don't want to talk about his half century now.
I know, he was.
And how they spell his name with a Z, the Pembroke Club, and it's an S. We get all this every time.
He did some great interviews in the first hour of the show, but he did say, "I'm looking forward to the cricket review." He sent us a message to say that.
Mentioned Fraser. Well done, Fraser. Great half century. Did the team win, Ben?
No, they didn't, unfortunately.
Seems to be the tale of his life, doesn't it?
Crimmett were 215 for 6. 215 for 6 batting first, Gord. But Fraser Watson, 52 not out, defiant innings.
Well done, Fraser.
I'm sure he'll be watching, and I'm sure he'll message very shortly to tell me how many balls he was in for.
He's like Jeff Boycott. He probably did half a day.
I have to say, though, Gord, he has had quite a good start to the season, hasn't he? He's in the runs at the moment, Fraser. Yeah, finally, because this show's
against Llanryan. He's the only one in the run, so that's the problem, isn't it?
This show's been a bit of a jinx to Fraser's cricket form. Yeah, that's true. Ever since we started doing this show, he's been left out of the indoor league, and he has struggled for runs, and he's been keeping wicket too. So we should say, well batted on the weekend.
He did. Yeah. He batted very well. Well done, Fraser. From everybody in the studio. Yeah.
Excellent. Don't forget pembrokeshiresport.co.uk to have a look at some of those scores, and we always call them out during the cricket season on Pure West, and we go through the results in the first hour as well. We're going to turn our attention to football in a few moments with Rob Edwards joining us, the Haverfordwest County chairman. But it has been a really exciting week of football in Pembrokeshire, and on Thursday it was the West Wales Cup final, wasn't it? Now, we did do a prediction round on the show last Monday.
Oh, I know what's coming. I know what's coming, mate. And you wouldn't have even mentioned it if you hadn't have got this bit of, what shall I say, a stat right. It's got to be a goal prediction. Is that right?
I did say...
I'll be honest, I went for 4-1 for Hakin.
I said it was going to be close, and it was, wasn't it?
It was very close. Yeah.
And I did go 3-2 to Hakin, and that's what transpired. But it sounded like a really good evening on Thursday, though, for Pembrokeshire football.
Yeah, it did. It didn't all go to plan for Hakin in the beginning because Tenby took the lead. Scott Fernie scored on about the half-hour mark at the Swansea.com Stadium, and they were 1-0 up. So Hakin had to do it the hard way, and they were very much helped with a couple of substitutions at half-time. Brought on Cameron Thomas, and they made a difference. Scott did a good job there, and the very experienced striker, Ashley Bevan, scored 2 goals in the space of about, 15 minutes. They were 2-1 up. Leon Luby scored a cracking goal near the end of the game where he picked up a cross and beat a couple of defenders and found the corner of the net to put him 3-1 up. But fair play to Tenby, they still didn't give up. They managed to... they must have been listening to the radio last week. They thought, we better get one back so Ben gets the right score. So, yeah, they did pull one back. But, it's 21 years, unbelievably, 21 years ago since Hakin last lifted that trophy. And I remember it well when Gary Dawes was captain and he picked it up at the old Vetch Field then back in Swansea. So it seems incredible because Hakin have had some really cracking sides up since those years, but they haven't quite got over the line. But I'm delighted Scott, who came back to manage the team after a year off, after losing against Penlan in the final a couple of seasons ago. He came back and they come back better and stronger. They finished second in the league. They lifted the Senior Cup and obviously won the West Wales Cup as well. It's a brilliant season for him.
Yeah, brilliant work. Hey, well done to Hakin from us all at Pure West Sport, and to Tenby as well, because they certainly played their part, and it was a good night for Pembrokeshire football. There's no doubt with that spectacle. If you want to listen back to the first hour of tonight's show, we'll be on the catch-up button on purewestradio.com, and Fraser spoke to Scott Davis, always very on it with the detail. Scott Davis, I was impressed with him when he came on the show, actually, and credit to him and the team for getting that over the line at a brilliant stadium as well. It must have been some night for those players, and to taste success there, extra special, Gord, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lifelong memories if you're a player or a supporter, isn't it? To actually go and win the West Wales Cup is, the top of their game. So they'll all be delighted down there. But they've got to try and go and do it all again next season. That's the interesting thing, isn't it? Trying to retain the silverware, which they're capable of doing, actually. They've got a good young side now, Aiken.
They have, you're right. Okay, we'll do a bit more of the local sport, of course, in the final part of the show. There's some rugby to tidy up as well, but we will stick with football with the Haverfordwest chairman Rob Edwards joining us in just a few moments' time, live on social media and on DAB Digital Radio. The scenes were amazing at the Oggy Bridge Meadow. I don't know if you've seen Gordon on social media, and maybe talk to Rob about this, but the players dancing in the dressing room. And did you spot Mickey Ellis doing some brilliant dancing right at the back?
Well, I've played with Mickey. That's the best I've ever seen him move the whole of his footballing career. He'd never danced like that when he was playing. No disrespect. It's brilliant for the lot of them. It's a great achievement. And obviously we'll speak to Rob now coming up, and we'll get his thoughts on it, because, second time that they've reached Europe. We had to wait a long time before they'd done it in 2004 with Darren Brace. And now we've had it twice in the space of 3 seasons. Incredible. Yeah. And Tony Pennock's done a fantastic job, and such a level-headed manager. He comes across so modest, but he knows how to get the job done, doesn't he? Fair play.
He does. He's done an outstanding job. And we will talk to Rob in just a few moments. Part 2 of tonight's Pure West Sport with the Bluebirds chairman joining us live next.